So, welcome to Studylah Podcast and join us in our conversation. This is episode 1 about mastering remote work, a comprehensive guide for Malaysians in the digital era. So, here we have someone that's good in computer engineering. So, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself?
Right. So I'm working as a software engineer in a compliance-based company in Norway. I'm based in Malaysia as well, so born and raised in Miri, Sarawak. And yeah, think pretty much that's about it.
Okay, because since we are in the digital world now, it's more of a modernized world. Um, there's a lot of talks about AI, remote works, and so on. So, um, are there opportunities for Malaysians, especially, to find remote works that is from Malaysia or companies outside of Malaysia?
Yeah, I think to answer your question based on that particular question. So first thing first, we need to address the local market. Like for Malaysia, we can speak about the local market first if there's like a huge opportunity in that particular sector. So let's say if it's come like a software engineering kind of job, and then we have like multiple types of what kind of job you're seeking for that software engineering. So let's say, are you looking for like a freelancing, or are you looking like a contract based work, or are you looking for like full time or part time thing? So for me to answer that question, let's visit the freelance thing first. So when it comes from like Malaysia based, if you want to seek for like a freelancing platform, right? So the opportunity is always been there because all things, if like when it comes to like a remote working base, so we just need to find like a platform where that particular opportunity is available. So if you keep on seeking the things that you want to be part of, like a freelancing platform, remote based, then I think we can start look into like a platform such as Upwork, number one, and then Fiverr or Fiverr, whatever you want to call it. So it's like a freelancing platform.
Yeah.
So I think those two things is like a really good platform for like people for Malaysians to seek for like a freelance opportunity.
Okay. From what I know,
And yeah,
Upwork and Fiverr also pays in USD. Am I correct?
yes, that's correct.
Yes. So I'm pretty sure like Malaysians would be very happy to get paid in USD doing the same work they are doing in Malaysia currently right now. And knowing USD has been skyrocketing in the exchange rate now. Even fifty
Yes.
dollars would probably be around 70 ringgit if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So comparing like our current timestamp, so $1 is equivalent to 4.67 USD.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's good to know. Since you are in a engineering background. You are in the programming background. I am actually in the engineering background, but I am also doing remote work. I feel like um, I I am more to project management, remote work. It's a very new concept to me because as Malaysians we don't really do this. But apparently, remote work project management is, I feel like it's the way to go. That's the future of project management, and I feel like there will be more opportunities for Malaysians as well. I'm currently working in a US company, remote based, also based in Kuching. So yeah, I
mhm.
think remote based work is the way to go for everyone. We don't have to be stuck in a jam. We don't have to be worried about parking.
Yeah, you can save a lot of time for us to commit. That's the first thing first when it comes to remote work.
Yeah,
You need to get up and, go to dress up and all that thing before you go to work. That's, I
definitely.
mean, the main perks of being remote work from home.
Okay. So as a programmer, or so what would you like to call yourself? A programmer?
Uh, you can call whatever you want to be actually, but the main point is there's like a distinguished difference between like a software developers and a software engineers.
Yeah.
and a programmer versus coders as well. So yeah, I think I can call myself technoky because I can call myself like anything.
Okay. So
I mean, as long as I'm working in a software industry, right?
yeah.
Doesn't matter you are coding, doesn't matter you're programming, but the main key point here is basically if you engineer and providing a solution to the problem itself.
Okay.
That's the
Cool.
key. Mm.
So for you, how good is the salary working this type of jobs, which is remote based mainly?
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
So how good is the salary for a remote based work for you?
Okay. I think to compare it with a local job market, so uh, there's no, it's a there's a lot of difference between the salary wise in terms of like people getting paid in a local job market versus remote because we are basically being paid from the employer that outside from Malaysia. So we are basically flowing the company base rate, salary base rate from that particular state or country. So let's say, oh, for my end, I just giving you like a ratio between like a local job market versus Norway job market because I'm currently working in a Norway company. So I think the ratio would be around 1/3 or 4, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm,
For me, although I'm working in a US based company, I'm getting paid in Malaysian ringgit, sadly. But
mm,
the good side of it is it is still higher than what the local market can offer as a normal engineer in Malaysia.
mm.
Yeah. So I feel like people should be more interested in doing remote works, especially working for companies um, that provide I mean, who wouldn't reject to higher salary, right?
Yes,
Yes. So
definitely.
um, so what is your working time though?
So yeah, we doing like a full rotation like around the world. So I think for my end, there's no difference between like, thing for my working time. So it's still like a 9 to 6 kind of thing
Mm-hmm.
based on our Malaysian time. But then once we finish our working hours, that's like someone from different country will continue our working hours. So it's like a rotating 24/7. That's why I think it's a very good opportunity for like an employer to find like employee for work remote working will because they can keep their operating 24/7 based on their time zone.
True, true, that is true. I
Yeah.
mean,
So what about you?
you wouldn't have to worry about contacting clients or the contractors or anyone involved because
Mm,
you know there's always someone to support you even during even after working hours.
yes, exactly that.
For me, because I'm working in a US company, I'm working based on the US time zone. So
Mm,
I'm working 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. But um, now because it's daylight saving month, I think. So
yes.
uh, we have to work 1 hour ahead of my original time. So that's 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. now.
Ah, I see.
Yeah. I mean, but how is it for you? Because like for you, you're still working 9 a.m. to 6 a.m., correct?
Yeah, because it's the daytime light saving kind of thing.
Yeah.
The thing that you have mentioned. So previously I've been working like 10 to 7. So since we shifting that thing to like a daylight saving mode, so they say. So now we're moving forward like 1 hour earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Nine.
I see. But for you, you're still working daytime, right?
Yes,
For me, I'm
correct.
working night shift, so it's basically I'm becoming nocturnal now.
So
Yeah.
because you need to sync with your employers, right? Over
Yes.
that. Right.
Because it's only during that work hour that my clients or my colleagues are awake. And
Hmm.
because it's project management, most of the time is we have to be the communication, we have to be the middleman basically
Okay.
to get all the information we need from the client, or they need certain information from us. Yeah. So,
All
but
right.
working night shift, there is good and bad. I prefer working this type of time because I can just go to sleep after work. I don't have to wake up because of an alarm.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I prefer this type of working time, but I think it depends from person to person.
Yeah, correct. I think the main advantage as well for your end, right, is basically less traffic at night in term of like traffic, like road traffic, or basically what we need to have in our work remote from home basically is our internet traffic.
True,
So
true,
night there's like a less traffic compared to like working in
true.
AM shift.
Since most, yeah, true. I mean, like since most people are working, I mean, are sleeping when when I'm working. Yeah, the internet is theoretically supposed to be faster than usual, since no one is using it, everyone's sleeping.
Yes. Most
Yeah.
of people sleeping in that hours. So
Okay.
advantages for us. I mean for you. Right.
So how good do you need to be in English to do this kind of job? Since most of the jobs that we get are, non-Malaysians. It's non-Malaysian company. Since like you're working for a Norway company, I am working for a US company. So how
Mhm.
good do you need to be in English for your end?
I mean, let's put it in number first. Like 1 to 10, right? Like 1 is the least, 1 and 10 is the max. So I would rate it as a 7/10. So the reason why I rate it as a 7/10 is because we can speak like even though we're speaking like a broken English, right?
Hmm.
But if we get our point right and straight to that customer or your employee itself, and they really understand what are we going to deliver and say. And that's all it takes. You don't need to be like 10/10 of your English. You don't need to be 9/10 of for your English. As long you can deliver what are you going to say to your customer, to your employee, and that's what matters. I think that's the key for me as I've been working for the past 3 years in a work from home environment. And yeah, I think that's the thumbs up for the English level. So
Okay.
yeah, how about you then? What do you think about the English level that you need to be for remote from home?
For me, I think I have a similar point to you because you don't really need to be good in English. Because, like, for example, in my company, we have people from all around the world. We have around 600 workforce currently.
Mm-hmm.
So we have people from Philippines, we have people from Pakistan. We also have people from Saudi working with us. And then also like we have Malaysians now. Our company is actually actively trying to give more job opportunities to Malaysia also, just for you guys to know. And then we have people that's in Canada, US. So same point like you, we don't really need to be that good in English. We just have to make sure that the point that we're giving or asking the client is um, understandable to all parties.
Yeah,
So yeah, we can be speaking in broken English. I don't think it matters much as long as the people understand what you want or what you need from them.
correct. Second, I mean, it's like we're doing like this podcast now. Right? We're not like very proficient in our English because it's not our main language.
True,
But then we get to our point.
true.
Yeah, that's the key.
Yeah. So next one will be, what skills do you need for a remote worker?
Let me think. What skills do we need as a remote worker? All right. I mean, there's a lot of skills actually that we need to have, not to master, but we need to have at first, because eventually, once you get into this environment, then you can master it. So I think there's a lot of things like there's a lot of skills that we need to implement it to ourselves. But let me give you like top three skills that we need to have. for remote workers. So the first thing first, like the previous topic that we have,
Mm-hmm.
is of course our communication skills because we need to be effectively convey ideas through like a written or and verbal communication with our team to serve our client and customer purposes. So that's number one. Even though we have like a broken English or something, as long we can deliver our ideas and our points through written and verbal communication, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. All right. So number two, it's a time management skills. So we need to always prioritize tasks and meet our deadlines independently because employers cannot manage you well because you are working remotely, right?
Yeah.
And then they give the task for us to do independently. So we need to take like we need yep, apa ya tahu. Hmm. Let's say that you have like a task and you own that task.
Mm-hmm.
So own is key here. So basically that's the second point. You need to really manage your time and you own that particular task.
Okay.
And the third thing is basically a self motivation and discipline. So without this thing, you cannot perform well and top of your level if you work from home. Because let's say right now in our environment, I'm working from home with my laptop, with my PCs over here. But on my right hand side is my bed. So you can imagine that if you have like a low discipline, right? You work for a few minutes, few hours, then you go back to your bed and do some shit.
Okay.
So I think that's the most top three skills that we need to have, in my opinion. And so since we're talking about it, so what do you think about the skills that we need to have
I feel
for
like
remote
the
workers?
point you make is quite good actually because like I think all remote based work should be similar in a way. Although you're in a different field, I am in a different field.
Mm,
You're in the programming world, I'm in the engineering world. The main thing is for me is as well communication. Even if you have certain tasks, um, can you complete them? Can you not complete them? Because if you are at work in the office, at least people can see what you're doing and stuff, so they know
mm,
like, oh, you might complete the work or not, or do you need more time, things like that. And also, one of the things that I feel that is very important is to always update the superiors. It doesn't matter if you can or cannot finish the work. Always, always update to your superiors so that they know if to inform your clients, or maybe you should inform the clients instead. Yeah, so
yes.
communication is definitely one of the most important skills I would say in remote-based work.
Mm, awesome.
So on to the next question. Um, I
I
mean,
think we can call it like a topic rather than a question because question feels like an interview, right?
oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay, okay. On to the next topic. So I think we've both been working um, outside in office before, and we've also been working in um, work remote-based work as well.
Mm.
So since we've been talking about remote-based work, do you have, based on your experience before, do you have any, um, how do you call it? Do you have any advice for people that's working outside in the real world that must skill that they must have?
Okay. In fact, I have like also three things that come on top of my head. So this is my thought process when you ask me this, uh, when we're speaking about this topic, right? So the first thing first, we need to be very adaptable with the remote from work from home environment. So I think the skill is the first thing is the adaptability because we need to navigate like unfamiliar situations across our work from home basis ecosystem, and then we need to thrive in that particular environment. So that is really, really hard, and we really need to have a self discipline and motivation, high motivation as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second thing, I think, of course, we need to have like a high problem solving skills because we need to be effectively tackle challenges with like innovative solutions that we can come up with. Because like if we are working from home, we have a lot of time on ourselves. And like that's very hard for us to talk like face to face to your colleague and something else. But then you need to be one with yourself. So that's where you need to have like a really high problem solving skills. And then the third thing is of course networking skills that you need to have. Because without network you cannot find this kind of like opportunities.
Yeah.
And then yeah, that's the top three things for us to must have skills in regards to this topic.
On
That's
that
my opinion,
on
at
that
least for
point
me.
though, because we are working remote based, um, basically we don't see anyone. So like networking and um, getting the motivation, because like I know most extroverts they would need uh, to meet more people or at least see people physically,
Mm-hmm.
but we are looking at everyone through the screens only right now.
Yeah.
So on that point, what do you think about that?
So I think it's either like physical meeting or virtual meeting. For my end, I think it's the same as long I can. I know on the other side of the screen, it's a real human. It's not an AI or robot or something else.
Yeah.
At least we have this kind of interaction,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where the communication. I think that's where it fits the purpose for this thing. As
Mm-hmm.
long we have this kind of interaction, doesn't matter it's like physical or virtual or something else. The interaction matters.
That's true. That's true. Because even for me, sometimes I do have uh, interactions with my colleagues, like one on one, asking them
Mhm.
how are they working, are they okay, do they need help. Also, most of the points that I feel like you did mention most of the points, and also I feel like one thing is to be more proactive, because sometimes you're doing remote work, you might finish the task earlier and than you need. So try to be more proactive to probably provide more value to the company, because I feel like that
Yes.
way, especially companies that are um, appreciating you, appreciating
Mhm.
you and your skills that and the value that you provide to the company, because that way you can build a more stable and better career path for yourself.
Exactly. I mean, you can also increase your KPI at the same time if you want to be more proactive in this case.
Yeah.
But I mean, of course, like both of us knows, like if we finish our task earlier, then we can shut off our work earlier, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we can still always do that, but try not to do that quite often, but be more proactive.
Yeah,
More.
because it becomes a habit when you become lazy.
Yes,
Am I right?
exactly that. Yeah.
Yeah. While working from home, because like no one actually monitors our work unless and there are certain company that actually do require you to open your webcam the whole time.
Mm.
Does your company require that?
No, that is really micromanaging people. I think that's not healthy for
Yes.
employers and both employees, man. I think for some people, for some company, they do that because they're really insecure about their employees. But in fact, if you really want to hire like a remote workers, then you need to let them on their task. You need to trust in them.
You need to trust them, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Because like even for me, we don't have any much monitoring or micromanaging from our superiors. So like
Mhm.
since there is no managing, like do you listen to songs when you are doing your work?
Yes, of course. In fact, excluding like our meeting and scrum meetings, all the thing, right? So when I was, for me, for my end, I'm working in a software engineering role, right? So we have like a coding task, we have like a engineering task, we have like a architecture task, we have like a scrum task and all that thing, right? So all of these things, I will listen to different genres. So basically, like for my end, if I was in like very hardcore coding, right, wiring into like the solving a problem with a code, then I would always listen to a progressive trance. And then also sometimes I listen to like what do you call that thing?
Lo-fi.
Uh,
Not lo-fi?
yeah, that lo-fi thing. I
Lo-fi.
think that's yes, lo-fi. Yeah,
Lo-fi is one of the common songs that everyone use, especially during uni.
yes, exactly. That human girl working on that particular thing.
Hmm.
We always listen to the same thing. And then I mean that's the second genre that I always listen to. I mean other than that I always listen to like jazz song to make me relax when I do some architecture thing. I need to have like a relaxed state of body and mind, right?
Hmm.
So I need to have like a really, really relaxing song. So like a Kenny G kind of genre song. So that fits in my bucket for that particular task.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's the top three genres that I can give to you. I mean, that's like a lot of genres, right? I mean,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
can.
yeah.
So what about you then?
For me,
What's your?
lo-fi definitely one of them. Definitely. That's been one of my go-to songs ever since my uni.
Hmm,
Another song that I found very that makes me very relaxed and focused. Some for some reasons are songs that have very very low tone. Okay,
hmm,
so yeah, so this is a personal question. You know, since you are in the programming world and everything, which one do you prefer, iPhone or Android?
it's very hard for me to answer that particular question. And I think I might get bashed. I might be biased as well in regards to choosing which side. But I think fuck it, right? I
Sorry.
mean, in terms of my world, on my workspace, I don't seldom. I'm not really into like a gaming kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I always go with Apple product,
Mm.
100%.
Same here, same here. So although Apple product, because we've always heard that MacBook is not for gaming, it's only for designing and stuff. But then what about you for programming though? Since that's like a different field altogether.
Yeah,
So
I
do
think
you
it
prefer MacBook or Windows?
it depends as well on the stuff preferences and what application and system they are building and what kind of integration that the developers want, like myself, wants to have like my machine with other devices. So okay, so let's talk about Windows first, right? It's a very I mean let's talk about Apple products first, like Mac OS and all that thing. So for Mac OS, it's kind of like really relate with more lean towards a Linux-based environment,
Mm-hmm.
so which I prefer.
Okay. What
So
does that mean?
for sorry,
What does that mean?
so Linux is basically like a distro, like an operating system, which is like we have like a three type of operating system in this world actually. So the first one is Windows, as we know, it's a very famous thing, and also a Mac thing, Mac OS.
Mm-hmm.
And the third thing is basically what runs the server in the entire world,
Okay.
the Linux.
Okay.
So if you like cross all of the websites, the system that you're using day-to-day basis, so what runs behind that particular system? It's the Linux.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think for us developers, engineers, software engineers, what we always prefer to use is basically what close to that particular development environment ecosystem. So we always lean towards Linux. But
Mm-hmm.
it's not really user friendly, as I would say. But then comes macOS. So this is like a best between both worlds.
Okay.
So this is where I prefer my work related things done with macOS. And
Okay.
also about the design and performance wise and the chip and the battery kind of performance. Yeah, I think it fits on my bucket list.
Okay.
Yeah. How about you? What do you prefer?
For
What
me,
are you using?
since I am in the engineering world, I think most people would know will prefer Windows instead of Mac because for a lot of simulations or designs that we need, we definitely need Windows.
Mm-hmm.
And another reason is because I think buying certain softwares or platform through Mac is a bit more pricey compared to doing using Windows.
Yep. I mean, in terms of like user experience wise, it's not that easy to navigate through like Mac machine compared to like Windows.
Yes.
So
Mm. So from I mean from the first part we started talking, it's about the more modernized world now. So how do you feel about AI now? How does AI impact us? And what's your opinion on AI replacing humans in the future?
I don't think. Okay, first of all, I don't think AI will replace humans in the future, but a human that uh, get the best of the AI tools that really understand how to navigate through AI tools efficiently is the one that will replace a human that doesn't use AI tools, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not, I think it's, my opinion, I don't think humans will be replaced by AI. But yeah, the humans that not using AI tools efficiently will eventually get replaced to humans that using AI tools efficiently. And then for me, I think there's a lot of like industries that has been impacted in this world with artificial intelligence technology. It's a very, very awesome and scary technology at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But I can cover like in terms of like software industry, how does AI impact our work? So basically, how it used to be right whenever we write our code
Mm-hmm.
in like our IDE. So basically, if you write our code, there's no like suggestion that has been made on our IDE itself. I mean, there is like a suggestion, but it's not really like trained properly. Like the AI really understand what are we going to deliver. So right now, if we have like AI, let's say GitHub Copilot, if we install that thing, if we subscribe to that thing, it will help us a lot, and it will provide us like a really good suggestion on what are we going to write next.
Okay.
So let's say if we have that thing, can imagine how can we really optimize and increase our work rate if we have like suggestion from AI. But so basically, you can see that AI is not like things that will replace human, but it will be a companion to your human. But we really need to be a companion, like a companion to a human. We
Okay.
really need to master that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Because like from what I understand, I mean we have always been using AI to be honest. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. But like even like when in Google previously when AI was not introduced as much, we are
Mm-hmm.
also using AI, but as an autopilot. From what I understand now in AI, especially in ChatGPT, done by Elon Musk, um, it's more like we're being a copilot now, telling the system what we need based on certain specific needs we need. Am I correct?
I think first of all, for that ChatGPT, right, it's not being developed by Elon Musk, but it's being developed by OpenAI. So
Okay.
yeah, I think that's a history things over here
Uh-huh.
for the OpenAI, right?
Uh-huh.
So Elon Musk has funded that company, but then he got away from the company. He exited that company, and now it's belong to the Sam Altman and the team.
I see.
So OpenAI is developed the OpenAI team itself is developing that ChatGPT and not Elon Musk. I mean, it used to be his company, but now it's not already.
Oh, so you let it go.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, not let it go, but he kind of like have like internal conflicts in the team itself. So he met the exit
Conflicts.
on the team.
Yeah, but
So
yeah.
I mean, in terms of like to answer your question in regards to that autopilot thing,
Uh-huh.
I would say yes and no at the same time. Why would I say yes? Because any recommendation system that we have been experienced before the AI boom,
Mm-hmm.
it feels like an autopilot, right?
Yes.
Because let's say if we navigate to our like a Google account, I
Mm-hmm.
mean we Google search anything, we look for that particular product, and then why, and then you go to your next application, let's say Instagram or Facebook, and then why you can see that particular advertisement that you for your product that you searched before on Google.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean everyone has the same experience this before.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that is the recommendation system. It feels like an autopilot. It feels like an AI,
Uh-huh.
but actually it's not.
I
It's
see.
just like kind of like instruction. It's like a robot thing, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Instruction. You have the instruction and they execute the instruction. But when it comes to AI, we have this instruction and then they execute this instruction and then they also can think for itself.
Mm,
So that's the difference between robots and AI.
okay. But yeah, AI you have to make as a companion, that I agree, because I found a few AI tools which are very useful depending on um what tools you need from AI, and
Mhm.
some of the websites you can find are free, you know. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, these types of tools I feel like is very very useful for um certain people depending on what they need.
Hmm.
So for you, what's your opinion on Malaysia now? Because there's a lot of things that change ever since our new PMX. I mean,
Yeah.
especially in terms of economy, we are paying more expensive for a lot of stuff, especially chicken and egg, which I heard a lot of people complaining about that now.
Exactly that. So many negativity around that thing.
Yeah. So what do you think? What is your opinion on Malaysia now?
I think first things first, we might get dash as well from my answers.
I
That's
mean, as
definitely
long
for
as
sure.
specific.
But yeah, to be specific, right? Okay, first of all, I don't really have enough knowledge in regards to what's going on our Malaysian economy, Malaysian GDP, and all that thing. But what do I know? It's basically the progress of what our Minister of Finance doing,
Mm-hmm.
Tengku Zafrul, and what's our new PM doing, Anwar Ibrahim.
Okay.
So I've been following them on Twitter, on LinkedIn as well,
Mm-hmm.
about their progress for these past few months. And then I like what I saw. So basically, they went to like a different country, like United States, Saudi Arabia, China, and they are seeking for like investment from like Tesla company, Amazon company, Microsoft company that they want to bring their product, their infrastructure to Malaysia.
Mm-hmm.
So if that particular investment is successful, and then it can really generate high GDP of Malaysia market. But the thing is, right now, once the PM starts, Anwar Ibrahim starts to become our PM, right? We can see that our currency with US, it at first it was really like moving downwards,
Yeah.
downtrend.
Yeah. I
But
can
for
see
some
that.
time, it has like moving spike upwards, like based on our initial conversation. So $1 right now is basically equivalent to 4.67
Yeah.
ringgit. Previously, it was like 4.2, 4.1,
Yeah.
but now it has like 4.6, 4.7 range.
Yes. Yeah.
So
I
I
saw. I
would
saw
say
last
that,
time it was 4.78.
oh,
Yeah.
there you go. So I would say that it always takes time to clean up some, some shit that has been done from the previous government. That's
Yeah.
number one. And number two, all of this progress that the Ministry of Finance and our new Prime Minister is doing, it doesn't reflect to that particular our particular economy like straight away.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be like a process kind of thing first before it can be reflect. We can see the result.
True.
It's not like a instant thing. They have like this kind of thing. We need to delay our gratification first.
Okay.
So eventually, in my opinion, I trust what they are doing because I like what I saw. They're bringing all the big companies come to Malaysia, right? And somehow, when the company put in Malaysia, when you have that, imagine what's the uh
Impact.
yeah, what's the impact, and then what's the benefit for Malaysian job seekers.
Definitely more job opportunities for Malaysians.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
definitely number one.
hopefully a better pay gap now. Because
Definitely.
yeah, because like we've been I know engineers that are engineers and still broke, you know.
Hmm.
So like
Yeah.
yeah, the salary they are getting now are not enough to cover their daily life, not to mention building a family, you know. So definitely, hopefully because like I also saw certain stuff from our PMX on X or previously known as Twitter. Um,
Hmm.
he's been actually doing a lot for the country, despite all the hate that he is getting from the citizens of Malaysia. Now he is still trying his best to actually um, improve Malaysia. And before you bash him again, watch this, guys. Watch this. This Anwar the Untold Story in Netflix. It is available in Netflix. Watch this, guys. And then during our next podcast, we can talk more about this. Because like this actually tells you what he experienced when he was in jail, how much he was tortured. And despite all the citizens not believing in him, he's still trying to improve Malaysia. So guys, take your time, try to watch that. Then we'll see you next time.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that will be the end of the podcast. So thank you for the conversation. For us in Stadila podcast, we strive to give more on education. So thank you for joining us and be ready for our next episode. Bye bye.